Our FoCuS on the left-hand side. The gym community is cheering heavily for him, coming up with some FoCuS Fire and FoCuS the Super Saiyan emote yesterday. We see it spammed in chat right away. But without further ado, everybody, we have to kick off our first semifinal. It is a best of 5. It is first to 3. The winner advances into the grand final. And who's it gonna be? It's definitely gonna be a Korean. They weren't in the grand final last time, as it was Happy and Sini then. But let's see. Who's it gonna be? FoCuS or Sock?
And we're starting things off today a little bit spicy. It is the MK first, which for Sock fans out there, perhaps shouldn't be the biggest surprise. He's been trying a lot with the MK and has been quite successful, not just in this matchup, but also even against Undead in the past. We think back to Rara Land, where his series against X-Lord was one of the highlights of the tournament. And here now also trying to go up against the Orc with the King under the mountain. Reminds me of Thorin and that horrible Hobbit movie. But this movie here, this series, will be much better. And nowadays, the MK also faring better against Orc, doesn't he? The 25 HP nerf recently on the Headhunters is certainly noticeable.
For sure, it is. We'll see if the hammer falls quickly, but Remo, I'm really impressed how in the first 5 minutes of the broadcast you're coming up with a lot of the Rings reference. That is probably a new record.
Yeah, wasn't it a couple of weeks ago before my vacation where you said the whole day I didn't bring up Lord of the Rings, so I had to get my swagger back. Almost losing a peasant to the creeps. A bit worried here at the start, of course, without the Archmage. You don't have the Watch Elementals to tank. Ideally, you want to play MK on a mercenary camp map, so you can make use of the Shadow Priest for a bit of disple and healing. We have a Merc camp here, but it's very hard to access. And what is this going to be? MK first normally means fast expansion, or does Sock have a different idea?
I got no clue how he makes things work with the Mountain King in his hand. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's not expanding and still wins somehow. But yeah, that should be the #1 priority. And so far, FoCuS is zoning out the human army quite nicely from the expansion, so no chance there. Wolves are scouting in the main. They see, hey, this militia there, that looks quite juicy. Trying to go for first blood, but so far Sock prevents it, buying time for the Arcane Tower. And the micro looks exquisite for now, but eventually the worker's falling.
Trading it across the map for a Headhunter.
Ooh.
That one sort of died because of the HP nerf. Otherwise, could have gotten away. As the Farseer is beginning to creep. It's always a valuable camp to go for at the start. This Merchant is an instant level 2. But of course, he had a bit of experience, a bit more experience before already. And we all know how fashionable those circlets are nowadays. I'm kind of surprised FoCuS didn't buy one yet.
Okay, maybe for later. Finally, Sock is able to claim this natural. And we'll see on the Mountain King if it's Clap or Bash. Bash it is. It's of course going to be mana heavy to use both of these spells. Ring of Protection for the Dwarf is something we very much like.
Yeah, Maz, Rings of Protection. We gotta get used to it. Even the small camps with the slippers drop rings nowadays. Which I still feel like is a bit redundant. I feel like we have enough rings already, but well, some heroes really appreciate that. Frontline tanks, especially Quberte was talking about it yesterday. Heroes like the MK, heroes like the TC benefit so much from this armor. And Human also benefits a lot from a fast expansion, which is coming up. And FoCuS seemingly lost the timing to really harass this one effectively. But the Farseer are now trying to change that.
Yeah, it was a solid delay, but while he's attacking the expansion, Mountain King finds the Headhunters in the north, Hammer falls, and so does the Headhunter. Workers under pressure as well, that's 1, that's 2. Arcane Tower up in a little bit, 50% done, but oh boy, these workers, I worry a little for the Town Hall.
Yeah, the fast level 3 here was super strong. The level 2 wolves so early into the game are absolutely devastating. It almost seemed like FoCuS was too passive this early game, but now the harass follow-up changing things. 2 more peasants will be falling here by the look of things, and the MK is really far behind in experience now.
Ouch, that hurt. Wolves will always provide XP, but on tier 1 it's kind of hard to deal with them. Far away from level 3 the Mountain King is. Now the militia duration is over. Sock wasting a little time to continue the construction of the town hall, but there we go. In the meantime, FoCuS has arrived on tier 2, going double beastery and TC.
A player's forces are under attack.
MK just started the creep camp. Foster's back to harass, and the repair is too late. Oh my god, huge mistake. That could be a game-losing mistake by Sock. Not repairing the tower in time. More damage now towards the peasants. At least the human army is close by, but the tower should have been enough to hold here solo. The MK can't creep right now, and this is devastating damage. Sock slipping a bit in concentration, exposing his peasants way too much in the early game.
Exactly. That is a bit problematic, wasn't really necessary, and the worst is probably yet to come. Yeah, there were some opening kills for him with that MK onto the headhunters, but creep speed is still quite okay, I would say. Raiders are coming, and the TC will probably decide to go for Shockwave here.
Yeah, Shockwave, Mass Raiders, hit the expansion. We've seen plenty of times before. Sock has been able to hold in the past. Will he do it again? We shall see later when the Raiders arrive. Now it's time for Sock to do something. This is a good timing. Before the tier 2 Orc army is ready and all map control is on FoCuS' side, this is where the MK can still strike and find kills as long as he has mana.
Oh, here we go. And there's another Stormbolt falling after this one, but FoCuS' denies are insane. That's number 2 in very quick succession, and without an Archmage, Sock isn't able to follow this up.
Yeah, crucial denies here, preventing the level 3 on the MK. Really big deal. And now almost all footies are gone. Perhaps he's gonna get this headhunter kill. But again, this could be a deny. Oh
my god.
Level 4 versus level 2. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, as I said, the gym community came up with a Super Saiyan FoCuS emoji. I guess it's time for that right here, right now. 3 insane denies. And that prevents the level 3, just as you said. Sock's lifeline, though, is finally up. Expo running, peasants rebuild, and the tech is rolling.
And this is all a rat tail, by the way, from the earlier stages when the Arcane Tower fell. Because the Arcane fell, the MK had to come back to defend, couldn't get level 3 from creeping, still doesn't have it, because he didn't get level 3, didn't get enough kills, couldn't get the denies, and this game is just over.
FoCuS Pocus working his magic on map 1.
Yep, FoCuS, they're playing a super solid game indeed, but I have to question Sock's movement in the early game, moving across to that little green spot where FoCuS was just taking it with his units. The Farseer wasn't even there, and FoCuS masterfully moving back around to the expansion and waiting for the level 3 to just decimate those peasants, and that honestly was pretty GG right there, losing all 5 workers at the start.
Oh man, this was FoCuS' first map, so the map where he feels most comfortable on. There's definitely chances for Sock to come back, but he has to step up his game. This performance wasn't enough, and FoCuS apparently in tip-top shape today.
Yeah, I feel like Sock can bounce back, though, from those games. I've seen, especially from Sock, plenty of matches where things go wrong a little bit. There are some players out there who then can get flustered, can... you know, have that confidence shaken. I feel like Sock is really good at wiping the slate clean, taking it one game at a time. And I would assume that map 2 is going to look very different. We're going to go to our favorite map, Twisted Meadows. And yeah, it's big, it's great for expansions, and could even allow for some weird tech shenanigans.
Okay, then. A little bit of a join bug, I guess? No? Remo, I'm confused.
For me, there was a join bug.
Yeah, it's 3 now.
Okay, we're gonna get there in a second. Whew, yeah, poor start for Sock. FoCuS has been playing really good recently. As we said in TP League, he had a top 4 finish there, was only defeated by Moon in a matchup that he usually loved. Night Elves won't be a threat here today, as none of the Night Elves is alive anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, those denies last game, man. 3 denies. Are you kidding me? That was insane. FoCuS really bringing the heat in that first game.
All right, 2 steps away from the grand final. Another bug.
They need to choose Team 1 and Team 2.
That is a good call. That's the
think they
expert
were.
analysis.
Wait, does it bug out otherwise?
Yeah, I think it doesn't work.
Really? Okay.
Not sure if that was ever patched, but yeah, you can't have like Team 2, Team 3, or Team 3, Team 4.
Warcraft 3 is a fragile game, isn't it? 3. Oh, I got. Okay. Wait.
I restarted. Just taking a second.
Okay. In the meantime, time for me to thank our supporters. $3,260 here. Thank you, Hard Crane, for the orc profile picture. $7 by Global Cannibal. Sock, go! And Hard Crane also with the direct contribution. Hitman number 1. Feels like Sock and Hitman are the fan favorites a little bit here today.
Yeah, sure seems like it. I mean, both kind of the underdogs in their respective matches as well. Happy, how many times have we seen him claim the crown in competition? And I think it's perhaps time for a change of the guard slightly.
Heavyweight's the head that wears 560 crowns from winning Warcraft 3 tournaments. Small technical difficulties here, everybody. Time for me for a little bit of a disclaimer, as I see a lot of comments about it. This overlay that we use for the in-game is currently not by choice. The API is broken for the overlay that we usually use. Hopefully this will return once Blizzard fixed the bug.
Is it FoCuS 5 or 6?
5.
Okay.
Damn, I've never had so many problems with a game on Korea Central.
Yeah. Good thing is, if this should be proving to be problematic, we can go to a different server. But
That is absolutely correct.
let's hope for the best. Players are in, players are ready. Almost.
We can switch to the recent results between the two, and it's a little... Wait, that is 100% wrong. Our tail of the tape, apparently, also bugged. Man, we're cursed here today. Now we got Team 1, Team 2. Now we're good. We're all ready. And the game loads up. Oh, man. Stressful moments! But here we go. 1-0 lead for FoCuS. Storming, conquering Autumn Leaves. Can he do the same with Twisted Meadows?
Yeah, I'm curious what this is going to be. It seems like Sok is, among all the humans, the most eager to play a fast expansion. On this map in the past, it used to be considered quite difficult, but the gold mines were made easier. There's fewer creeps there nowadays. And of course, always now we have a cross spawn, so the orc would take a long time to get there. And perhaps most importantly, can you even play MK on this map? I feel like that would be very bold.
I agree. You get a lot of advantages with the creep on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side in this case, of the base with the laboratory here, which is, I think, only possible with an Archmage. They are not spawning next to the mercenary camps, where Mountain King could be supported by a Shadow Priest or an Archmage as well. So yeah, I expect an Archmage here now.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just so good for creeping on this map, or perhaps more appropriately, the MK is so weak for creeping on this map. And it is an Archmage indeed. Farseer, 1 grunt into Headhunter. That is the staple build nowadays against human. And I was quite surprised, map 1, that the Farseer was playing so passively early, went for creeping a lot, but that level 3 really came in swinging like a hammer. That was absolutely deadly. But the thing is, with an Archmage, you can creep much better, so this time around, it should be Sok leveling to 3 faster, if he is allowed the space.
And then we get a little bit of a Summoner's War, huh? Wolves versus Water Elementals. What's gonna be superior? Sok is not playing ultra greedy, going for a Scout Tower here. He knows that the Farseer and the Wolves will sooner or later knock on his door.
And I would expect that to be rather sooner than later. Of course, FoCuS knows his opponent will be able to get a fast level 2 here regardless. I wonder if he's going to creep the full camp. like min-maxing the creep here, having as few things ensnared as possible, and really getting the whole camp and not letting leaving the trappers behind would be a big deal. This is big XP for the Archmage, also a little tome, and of course the big item. This can make a big difference depending on what you find here. The best item is the Robe of the Magi, but even Soy Mask is really good, and the Archmagi ring is also very good, I would say.
That is absolutely correct, and how fitting it would be. Could also be a big disappointment though with Boots of Kel'Thalas and Remo. There we go. An Archmage with the Ring of the Archmagi, plus 3 stats to everything. Very, very good. But here comes FoCuS with the first harass of the game, and 2 Water Elementals are pretty hurt.
The Arcane Tower is up though, so losses should be minimal. 1 peasant is gonna fall. Oh, nice micro on the grunt. Locks the next peasant as well, so that's 2 peasant kills. That is at least something for FoCuS. He gets a little bit of a taste for blood, but 2 peasants are still totally fine, I would argue. Now, is it gonna be an expansion or not for Sok? He has both options available.
Okay, Headhunters being chased by this Footman, which has been a cornerstone of the early game for Human in almost all matchups these days. This roaming Footman, gathering information, causing some problems. Very well done so far. FoCuS is moving to the bottom right-hand side, giving Sok some time, but for what? For attack.
For the mercenaries here, I like that. The Orc army being bolstered quite a bit with the help of the hired units. And the Archmage continues to creep. This is going to be a fast level 3 AM. FoCuS again, prioritizing his own creeping, giving a lot of space to the opponent. We've seen that plenty of times in the history of Warcraft 3. If an Archmage comes knocking at your door with level 3, that can be very scary.
I wonder if this was played at the first beta of Warcraft 3, because yeah, it's been a staple of the human race for more than 20 years, I'd say. But here on Twisted, crossing the map takes a long time. And I'm not too sure if you can afford that time and especially get there without being scouted. FoCuS with the sweet lasted. On the way to level 3 as well. But Archmage has arrived. And now how do you reach this Orc base?
Sneaky movement by Sok. He's trying to move undetected and arrive at the Orc base at a surprising timing. But great scout by the Wolf. FoCuS was checking the corners, was trying to figure out where his opponent was going to be coming from. He knows when the attack is going to hit and where it's going to be from. He's trying to get level 3 before the AM shows up, but he doesn't quite have the time.
And he doesn't have reinforced defenses. Tier 2 isn't done yet. This is the perfect arrival to cancel the Tier 2 buildings. It doesn't get much better. The tech finishes now and the Archmage is right in his face. How to get up the Beasteries now?
Alright, to abolish this, that Shadow Priest was valuable. Will have to pay with its life though. Oh, and then Water Elemental was level 3 for the FoCuS. Oh, that was
so
very
big.
well done by FoCuS. That helps a lot for the defense. And honestly, it's not that many footies. The Water Elementals are certainly scary, and the Archmage also has some good DPS. The Footman numbers are quite low indeed.
Yeah, this is quite an investment for Sok as well, right? Rushing across the entire map, sacrificing Footman for it, investing into defend for exactly this purpose. And what did he actually get? He delayed the Tier 2 buildings a little bit. Oh, hold on. That Lodge. Getting that Lodge is massive, and he does.
That footy is going to go down. So much mana on the FoCuS, thanks also to the one of mana stealing. Oh, pretty hurt though. May have to go for a heal pot because the follow-up attack is coming. Beastmaster has been hired, Quill Beasts are in, and it's only the FoCuS defending. Seems like these Orc units are also supposed to help out at some point.
Wow, so much pressure. Wolves are critting. FoCuS low.
Oh!
Shocking turn of events with the chain lightning, but now TC is in. Is he going for a storm? Has to go for the TP. Nice heads up play by Sok, but that first pressure is over.
I would say pretty good defense for FoCuS. He almost lost nothing. Did he lose the Shadow Priest? Yes, did lose the Shadow Priest, but kept all other units alive. Of course, the Lodge was delayed for a long time. That is the minimum of what you have achieved with a double summoner pressure like we saw there. But ideally, you want to get more kills. So I would say FoCuS in a fine spot here.
I agree. Also, Sok not building a shop prior to the TP. This will hurt. He can't heal immediately. Can obviously block a little bit with his summons. That's what they're there for. But we have to raise the question, this Beastmaster will not scale as well as the Mountain King into the late game, and was it really worth the investment at Tier 2 given the damage he did?
Yeah, Sok in the past, especially when he had a very good early game, would TP home, heal up, and then play an expansion. But we see no expansion attempt at all so far. It could be possible, but perhaps Sok not willing to take the risk. If he goes for the expansion, of course, he knows a follow-up attack might be coming from the opponent, especially considering that he didn't really kill many units of FoCuS. Beastmaster wants to get a good item here. Oh, Sobi Mask. This is going to be a lot of summons. And at some point you have to wonder, can the Shaman keep up with the Dispel against all these summons that will be coming out?
I thank you very much for the correct pronunciation. And yeah, that is the question indeed. The Orc doesn't have a Brilliance Aura to work with, has no statues or Moon World, so getting regen on the mana for Shaman is really tricky, as long as you don't get a Brilliance Aura from one of the camps, of course, which is not possible here anyway. So at the moment, it is a little bit of a creeping fiesta, and Sok is switching gears, and it is an expansion.
Solo XP to the Beastmaster. This might be level 3, or at least get him close. And we have the Bash Bear in as well. High HP summon, of course. Also not so easy to purge that one at times, especially if you get level 5 Beastmaster. Although we are still far away from it. Here's the expansion. FoCuS scouted for it. He knew, just like us, that this is a very real possibility. Oh, and the Archmage gets caught. Does have an invuln, though. Should be able to save himself.
We have Stomp, by the way, no Shockwave, as we've seen a lot recently. Priest is about to go down, trying to heal himself last second, doesn't work, and that's a level 2 Stomp right in the beginning of the mid-game.
Where's the bear? Bear's going on a harass mission, not helping right now in this defense. Shaman goes down though, no Dispel anymore, and one Sorceress is in for a bit of slow now as well. And right now, the summon heroes really shine. The Water Elementals, the Quillbeast, the Bear. Yeah, because there simply aren't enough Shaman. The playstyle is coming together well with the Lodge Cancel. As I said, that one Shaman was in to help. Militia would be extremely helpful here as well, but Sok can't really call them as he played for the expansion.
Here's the Bear in the fight. We all love him dearly. Very good weapon against the Raiders and also some Headhunters and the Berserker. Beastmaster is diving, but FoCuS is able to... get this Shaman out! What about the Archmage? We're surrounded, opens it up once more. Sok is overwhelming FoCuS here with magic as there is so many summons.
In the meantime, both players are getting expansions. Nice saves, by the way, by FoCuS. Ooh, really low HP on the Raider and the Shaman. Wants to send back home to heal up. This FoCuS, by the way, looking so strong. Level 4 already with plus 16 damage. And wants to go for the Archmage again. A surround would net a kill.
Nice dodges, nice escapes by Sok, but he is down 20 food. Of course, he has some summons to work with that even out some of the supply, but in general, this is not looking good. But FoCuS, how much of his supply is actually healthy and in fighting shape?
Yeah, this is still razor-thin margins. The hero's also pretty low mana. TC very hurt, but the Ensnares here are so scary. Stomp! Speaking of the Ensnare, the Raider should have it ready. Heal potion is there. Can he surround this Archmage? Trying to prevent the surround with the Water Elemental running.
Oh. Invo potion, last second as well. This is so problematic now. But Sok is still fighting. This Archmage needs to be part of the defense, but also needs to be kept safe.
Story Mask, by the way, on the Beastmaster. Kicking him nicely. All that mana regen. He's going to have another Quillbeast to be summoned. There we go. And I think finally, FoCuS is running out of steam in this attack. Oh, wait. Or is he? Going for the AM still. But there is no Stomp. There is no Chain Lightning. And the AM does make it away. The bonus stats, again, helping on him. This is a constant brawling, a constant tug of war.
Love it. What do you think about the choice of going level 2 Quillbeast instead of level 2 Bear? I thought so. Me neither.
Yeah, it's of course way more susceptible to purge, obviously, as it has lower HP. If they can stay alive, they have great DPS, but so far the Quillbeasts haven't really stayed alive for too long. And the Shaman, timing's always perfect, seemingly, or almost perfect by FoCuS. He has just enough Dispel most of the time. Archmage, too far forward, perhaps. But okay, does make it away. The Ensnare count is limited. Is there a Stomp, though?
Oh.
There is!
Needs a little bit more right-click. Archmage falls. Oh no, the game for Sok is continuing to fall apart. Again, the 20 food lead, and he's cleaning up the backline now as well. With Raider attacks, with Ensnare, with the big axe of the TC. FoCuS storming forward to a potential 2-0.
Yeah, this army by the human is just so fragile, dude. These units die so easily. Level 5 on the FoCuS. Crazily fast. And this might just be a little bit too much surround on the Beastmaster. Yup, it is closed. And that is going to be the next hero kill. And this is going to be the 2-0, isn't it?
No! Oh, almost. The big axe decapitates the Beastie Boy. And yeah, what can you do without heroes? He's buying the Archmage back, getting into breakers now, slowly but steady. But also more Kodos arriving as the perfect counter to the breakers. The hope of the human fans, Remo, they're being slaughtered here on Twisted.
Yeah, FoCuS is playing great on both maps with sometimes questionable movement. But in the later stages when it comes to the brawling, FoCuS looking absolutely outstanding. And the ORCers are just too strong. It feels like FoCuS has to back up at some point to heal, but somehow he's able to keep on fighting and just rack up so many damn kills.
Super Saiyan FoCuS up 2-0 now on 3 match points after just less than 30 minutes.
God damn, FoCuS bringing his best foot forward here. I think playing exceptionally well strategically, especially on the second map on Twisted. I love how he handled the defense against Soc's push on tier 2. Soc perhaps, not getting the best value out of those footmen overall. Got one Spirit Lodge cancel. It wasn't the most devastating loss in the world for FoCuS. And then once he was able to clear that expansion, he could pressure Soc pretty much relentlessly. And we see how difficult it can be for human to try and plant that tier 2 expansion while being pressured by the tier 2 power of Orc. With so much lockdown, the movement speed advantages, it's just tough for human with those footmen and casters.
Exactly. Ooh. We have seen reverse sweeps yesterday from Hitman, for example. We need one now. Otherwise, the hopes and dreams of the Human Alliance are falling apart. You guys seem to enjoy the games though, because you guys continue to contribute to the prize pool. $3,272 right now, thanks to a very complicated name that makes me struggle a little bit. Inari Jervy. I think I nailed that. Thank you for the undead and human profile picture that you bought. Interesting combo, my man.
Holding the flag up high for the humans. Can Soc do the same? Tough task now for him. I would say if he plays his best, it's not impossible to win 3 maps in a row, but it's going to be very tough to do against a FoCuS who has been looking really good this whole tournament. FoCuS sometimes has his ups and downs, not always the most consistent player, but this time around the W3Champions looking very strong. Would make it his first grand final, right? Second grand final.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did he play against Happy before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
There's
so many of these,
Yeah.
How can you keep him straight?
Yeah, well, listening to me at the pregame talk would help, but you were very, very busy with the admin duties that you are doing very fine. So I cut you some slack here as well. And now we got FoCuS on match points. He had a semi-final curse being eliminated there 3 times already, but apparently not today. Can he go all the way, or will the momentum shift here on the next map? The next map being Northern Isles.
And this is a map where fast expansion is always very popular for human, especially against Night Elf and Orc, where the instant expansion oftentimes looks quite strong. But the build that FoCuS is choosing here could also be quite potent against this. With the 1 grunt into Headhunters, we've seen it now plenty of times. Whether you want to creep level 2 first at the greens, or you want to be aggressive right away, this is a great build for precisely that. Which is exactly why the Blade Master in this matchup isn't really good, because he's not strong enough early on low levels. Footy Scout being sent out, and only 3 militia creeping, so saving the lumber will not be expanding. This will be a fast tech for some.
All right, pretty much first time he plays it this way. Super aggressive, super fragile as well. No arcane tower in the base, which is kind of an invite for the FoCuS to come in and harass, but the FoCuS is taking a pit stop at the left-hand side for one of the consumables, Wand of Illusion. Kinda nice, but not game-breaking really. Question for the human always here on Northern Isles, how to get level 2.
A player's forces are under
Trying to get here at the green. Crucial, huge last hits. If the Farseer steals one last hit here, he wins the early game. Doesn't attempt for it though. Respects Sock enough. Feels like Sock will play against it well. Who has found some nice items, by the way. Claws and slippers on the IM. Not bad at all. And now begins the Wolf Harass. But the tier 2 tech already started, so this won't be a big economic delay, it seems like.
Exactly. Nice wall up. Nice architecture. Everything pretty damn fine and no peasants even hurt. This looks to be the best early game so far, as FoCuS is starting the tech. Sock is quite ahead in that regard.
Interestingly, by the way, no blacksmith. And this is also something that FoCuS saw. So we won't be seeing any riflemen. It's just going to be footies into casters, which oftentimes is accompanied either by a Beastmaster or a Panda. And especially with this fast tier 2 tech, I would love to see a Tavern Hero to double down on the timing advantage. Chain Lightning being used, and finally, some peasants in trouble. Nice deny though, on the one, so only experience from one peasant, but still 2 peasants going down. That hurts a bit. You definitely don't want to lose a third.
Oh, that militia looking quite juicy, but Archmage damage as well, so the situation is now finally saved and cleaned up. Here is a lumber mill. That is, of course, because the militia were falling, peasants were falling. He needs more lumber for Mountain King and Sanctums. Lumber, in general, kind of low for Sock, so FoCuS reached the goal of the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. This was, in the end, quite noticeable damage. Defend also costing a bit more lumber. Wolves are back in action again. Oh, you don't want to lose that peasant in the gold mine. But I think he will if he's paying attention. Ooh. 3 peasants lost. That does not feel good for the human.
And the wolf saved, so not even the tiny bit of extra experience is allowed. What do you do now? What's the list of priorities? He's going for defend and the Beastmaster. Okay, so this push has to hit hard for Sock, but he's not level 3 and FoCuS is probably aware.
Yeah, FoCuS is getting ready. He knows this will be coming. Sock under pressure. He needs to get something done right now. He is behind in the game. His lumber is so low, dude. He's gonna get his Sanctum so late. I'm worried. I'm worried for Sock.
Oh man, me too. This is not good at all. Grunt move to the side, FoCuS is saving whatever he can. Herd Headhunter move to the back into safety. And usually you want to attack burrows, you want to attack tier 2 buildings, but the burrows are safe, the tier 2 buildings aren't there yet. Good deny by Sock right here. Is the second hero started? Oh, not yet. So little time bought for Sock.
Footies are next to the peons, making things awkward. The Archmage DPS is quite noticeable, by the way. Really good items for him. Wolves are trying to deal with the heroes, but all those summons are hitting a nice timing here. Sock hasn't killed much yet, but there's still opportunity to get more.
There is a Spirit Lodge on the left-hand side. Nice play by FoCuS, not building it into the base where it's kind of obvious of what's happening. That lodge should be secure. Beastmaster heard Speed Scroll invested. Can't save the Grunt anymore. What about this Beastmaster? Lightning bolts are arriving. 33 HP left. 6 summons another Quill Beast. Almost a deny. Doesn't get it though. Archmage on the left hand side with the big escape, but that is probably worth it. So much echo damage, a big delay on the beastery, and a lot of repair forced as well.
Last year did get level 3. Ooh, that Archmage, by the way, playing with fire still. A mana potion here could be deadly. But he does get away. Farseer again, looking strong. Solid hold by FoCuS. He lost perhaps no peons? I think he may have actually saved all peons. Great play by FoCuS.
He is on fire today, that's for sure. This was a little bit of mining time. Let's compare 9,900 to 9,350. So 450 advantage, not bad at all. And finally time for a double Sanctum play, but only on one base.
Liking FoCuS's position a lot here. The experience advantage heavily on the orc side. And late game, oftentimes it does come down to the heroes. Ideally, as the human, you would love to play with a tempo lead with these summon heroes, as of course you don't have the MK for the late game. You don't have the one-man army late game carry. The Beastmaster is a nice addition, especially if you can put a lot of mana tags on the on the shaman. But I would say FoCuS is definitely in the leading position. This game is not over yet, but if you can set up an expansion, FoCuS should be looking really strong.
I agree. He sees, Sock sees the positioning now, indicating that FoCuS will creep a little more, so it's also time for Sock to work on these levels. Archmage needs level 3, will get it. Big item here as well. Archmage hits like a truck with the plus 11. We got Wand of Mana stealing, fantastic against the TC trying to stomp. This will probably be the build, even though we haven't decided yet.
Do some cute stuff against the Shaman as well. Steal their mana, prevent the purge. But first he needs levels, dude. Level 2 and 2 only. This is looking a bit sad. Militia called towards the natural. Perhaps also Sock gonna try to set up an expansion. Of course, the great thing about Town Halls with the power build is they come up fast, but they are very expensive to build. Around 600 gold that will have to be invested into this building means no unit production from that gold, which could expose Sock to a weak timing. Let's focus on the move.
Can the summons help here? No level 3 on the Beastmaster. Claws plus 8 again. More damage on an Archmage. He has to be the carry here, but juicy workers. Nice slow apply to the TC so he can't get in range, but the trolls are finishing the workers and the Ice Troll goes to FoCuS here as well. Levels are looking damn fine. Army, not so much. And FoCuS not working on a second base either.
And this was scouted. Sock had the summons up in the north. Saw that there was no expansion happening, so he knows that he may have a bit more time here still. I love these claws on the Archmage, by the way. Without Stormbolt, without Clamp, the human army is going to be lacking DPS. And with these items, with the plus 19 on the AM, it does help. If a little bit of additional poke damage is appreciated.
Expansion coming up now. Sock has to scout this. Healing wards for FoCuS at the market. And this laboratory could be creepjacked. The Sock is still desperately trying to get this Beastmaster up to 3. But you see the lack of damage. This is ridiculous. Not even the Tuskas can be killed. And FoCuS comes in with the Chain Lightning, stealing that away as well.
Not having the 3 on the Beastmaster here is so annoying. He's so close. That creep would have been enough. Maybe another Water Elemental should have been summoned. No deny this time, for once. And the Beastmaster gets even closer. One wolf would be enough experience for the level up.
Oh, it's so important. Big purges on the Water Elemental. But that drains mana out of the Shamans. Sock is facing elimination here, mind you. FoCuS, if he wins this game, is in the grand final. And here is a big fight. Level 2 wolves, Shockwave as well. This is huge AoE on FoCuS' side.
The militia call is minimal. This wasn't really much support at all from the main base. FoCuS can keep fighting easily. He's level 4 on the Fascia already. Behind it, he has an expansion coming. And Sock looking in dire straits.
I was about to say, Remo, can you remind me who's the one expanding behind this fight? It looks like it's the human, but FoCuS has the second base up in a bit, and Sock has no forces to throw against that second base now. Oh my god.
Chain wave hits. FoCuS still 10 supply ahead with the expansion about to finish. He's got center control. He can go for heal scrolls now as well in a moment as it's nighttime. And we were all having great hopes for Sock, but those hopes seem to be fading away. FoCuS is just super on point today, punishing every little thing that he can from the opponent. And Sock is lacking something today.
Yeah, I feel like that page in the history books for the first two-time champion in 2 game modes will stay blank at the end of the day, but Sock is still trying. Last hit for the TC, of course. Belt of Giant Strength, more HP, more damage for the right clicks for the big cow. And this is all in. This is the kitchen sink for Sock with his tournament life on the line.
The summons are the only way this can happen. Mass summons and the shaman not having enough mana for the purge. The army is in the Orc's favor. It has to be the Quill Beast and the Water Elementals here to make the difference. But we see the purges still active. TC in the front line taking some damage, but of course he doesn't have to be worried about the Stormbolt. Heal wards getting cancelled. There's one more heal ward available. Oh, and the Shockwave hits the Ivory Towers as well. Doesn't look like these will be finishing. Sock absolutely all in right here, right now.
Yeah, and FoCuS is close to a perfect game, isn't he? All he does is just the right call with great execution. These towers were destroyed in no time, not even used really as a damage sponge, not upgrading them since he knows it's hopeless. He's down 23 food and no heroes that can be carries. This is a clean 3-0 victory for FoCuS. Welcome to the grand final for the second time.
Yeah, this was almost painful. Impressive by FoCuS. Very well done by him. And Sock not quite playing his very best today, I would say. FoCuS definitely the deserved winner. But I wasn't expecting this to be so one-sided by any means. 45 minutes, dude. This was a 45-minute best of 5. With a little bit of delay as well. This was just, yeah, destruction.
Yeah, best of 5 done and dusted in short time, as you said. I don't think we expected this match to be quite so one-sided. FoCuS playing just great strategy overall. Sock, kind of questionable strategy, to be honest. The fast tech into Beastmaster defend push looked really weak. Kind of missing an opportunity to get the Lodge cancel. And the problem is when you sustain that wood harass in the early game, you don't have the wood to buy a Tavern hero, which is more wood than a normal hero. 2 Sanctums behind, it's far too expensive. You should have gone for a 3 farm tech 100% in order to be able to afford the Sanctums. When you play MK rifles, it's a lot cheaper. You know, MK only 100 wood. You only need 1 Sanctum, and the rifles, and if you take a little bit of wood damage, it's okay, but the strategy just does not seem to work if you take the wood damage that he did. And FoCuS with a pretty clean victory indeed. Sock, unfortunately, back to the drawing board for him.
And an elimination in the semi-final once again. I'm scrolling through the results between the two players, and I can't find a clean 3-0 in a best of 5 or a 4 in a best of 7. It was always super close, the results between them this entire year. 2-1, 3-2. Not today. Not Sock's day, unfortunately. I hope he can step it up in the 2-on-2. He's gonna be in a grand final, but that is only for later. Not in the 1-on-1 grand final. Tough. Yeah, he has to recover somehow. That was crazy strong by